Hi guys, it's Matt from Andertons here, and today we're joined by Andy Mack from Akai, and he's here to tell us about the new Akai MPC Renaissance. Andy, can you just give us a bit of a insight as to what's new about this MPC?
Yeah, so basically, NPCs have been around for about 25 years and they are classic for making many, many hit records that we've all listened to for so long. So, originally the units were hardware based, and over the past 2 years, the music industry has moved over to doing music inside the box, very computer driven. So we needed to take what the MPC was classic for and make it work inside your DAW. Hence, how the MPC Renaissance is here. So what it offers you a hardware controller which interacts with the MPC virtual software, and it gives you all the classic features that have been around for so many years. So that's basically kind of an overview of what the controller actually
Right.
is, and the integration with the software.
Andy, the MPC is famous for being integrated hardware unit. Why the change to integrate software as well?
Okay, well, like I said, the main thing is so many people are using the computer now to do music. So the challenge was getting the workflow inside, but the benefits that it offers you having integration is the processing power on your computer. We now have the ability to integrate it with the world of plugins, virtual instruments, and this is the massive change that's happened. Everyone is using plugins to control their EQ, compressors, reverbs. So now you can actually start integrating piano string libraries, synths, and then start putting compressors and reverbs on your drums and all your programming. You know, back in the day, you'd have to stem everything out and go into Logic or Cubase and do everything manually.
Sure.
So now the integration, it's standalone in the sense of how you can program all your music.
There are a lot of products out there on the market that work in the same way with the software, but what are the advantages of using hardware alone?
Okay. Well, one of the things is when you're sitting in front of a computer with a mouse, it's not the most enjoyable experience. You know, it's not
Sure.
very creative. And again, the thing we found why people have used these for so many years is because you use it like an instrument.
Sure.
So having the integration means that you don't compromise on the workflow, but you have the benefits of the processing of the computer. So with the Renaissance now, we have the 16 velocity sensitive pads. We have a very simple screen layout which keeps you focused on the workflow instead of getting sidetracked again with the computer.
Right, okay.
You have your controllers on the left here, which is 16 touch sensitive controllers, so you can then access all your plugins, you can do all your resonance and filtering all live, and again, stops you going over to the computer. So the hardware side of this means that you are doing a performance, you are feeling the music, and if whatever you're doing isn't physically flowing, it's because you're not flowing with the feel of your
Sure,
drums,
yeah.
and you're not just moving segments of notes by the mouse.
So, Andy, we've explored the hardware side of it, but let's talk about the software. Does it integrate with DAWs? How does it work exactly?
Yeah. So the software works in two ways. It can run standalone as an independent program, and we're finding more and more people are using that because the thing is, it has all the plug-in data, it has all the virtual instruments,
Right.
so you can physically use it as a Logic Cubase program.
Right,
But
okay.
but it won't support audio.
Okay.
So when you're creating your beat, everything is intertwined inside the software, and then once you finish your whole programming, you can then export the whole project out and then open it up inside Logic or Cubase. Now you can open it up in two ways. You can either have all the audio stems, which are all automatically bounced down, or you can open this up as a audio unit or a RTAS or
Right.
a VST plugin, and it will sync inside your DAW.
Right, I suppose that's quite important as well.
So it gives you both options for every end user out
Right.
there of how he wants to integrate the flow.
I must ask actually, because obviously the MPC is synonymous with the urban and hip hop genre,
Yeah.
but will this appeal to producers from other genres?
Yeah, we have the biggest endorsees across the world from all genres of music. So we have
Right.
hip hop covered, we have the dance industry, we have the kind of R&B, we have the pop industry. So you know the artists that are coming over for this particular unit is incredibly massive because of the history.
We've spoken about its functionality and a bit of history behind the MPC. Can we see it in action?
Yeah. So what I do, I create a few different kinds of music styles, and it's really simple. I do everything from the hardware. So I'll select a new sequence, pick my tempo, select 4-bar loop, and start on track 1, and I should have my samples here in record mode. I'm going to put my hats down now. Now I'll put my kick and snare down now. It's track 3. Virtual instruments and strings, and play piano lines around. I can go to track mute and start muting everything, and I'll start building up the percussion side of it. I can do my drop. So that's kind of the first groove. I'll go to another one. We'll go sequence number 2. We'll pick a tempo, so we'll say about 93 beats per minute. And again, I'll have all my samples here, and I'll go to a new program. And then what this is a loop that I chopped up, and a real simple feature. We can go to sample edit, and I can pull up any kind of loop, and I could just chop the loop up and just put it into regions, and it will automatically create it into a program on the pad. So you can sample vinyl into it, CDs, MP3s, everything. And it's very, very fast to actually chop up loops and make music from them. So, like I said, I've got one here. We'll do a 4-bar loop again.
I mean, is it quite intuitive to set this up, or do you...
Very simple. You know, I'm doing everything with one hand. I'm not even looking at the computer.
Yeah.
It's very, very fast workflow. That's my first loop done. I now go to track my next track, and I pull out my drums. Now, what's really cool, I can do my kick and snare first. So I'll record that. Track 2. And if I use note repeat, I can now go into my different time divisions, and I can either do a 16 or a 32. And this is all note sensitive as well, velocity. Really cool. I could go to my mixers now, so I can now see all my different track mixers running on the screen, and I can go to that sample, turn on my plugins, and put like a flanger over the top. Really simple. But what's really cool here, I can put 4 plugins on that one track, right? Or I can put 4 plugins on per pad.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
I could put 4 plugins on the overall mix as well, and plus I've got 4 auxiliaries as well that I can assign plugins to. So the amount of power that you have And the way we've created the track mixer, it's just very logical how you use effects when you're programming your drums or your backing track.
I guess it keeps it quite integrated in, and
completely.
as we saw, and at any point did we stop, or and I think that is quite important, is that workflow, because it can become quite time consuming when it becomes quite fragmented and stop and starts, and you want to be creative with it as opposed to just stopping and starting and pulling up different samples and things like that.
And also a couple of the really key fast features here, obviously creating beats and doing all that stuff's very, very fast anyway, and looking at it on the software, so you can always go to the grid and move notes around. But a few of the really key features that everybody uses in today's music is when you're layering drums.
Sure.
Now, there's nothing out there that enables you to layer drums quickly apart from the classic MPCs.
Yeah.
So what we've done, we've got a great layering feature here where you see your 4 levels of each pad. So each pad will give you 4 levels of layering. I can simply go to my controls here and I can go, okay, I've got 1 kick drum, bang, 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 bang. I've now got 4.
Right.
And I can control each level of each pad and the tuning and velocity just by turning these controls.
That's really clever, actually.
And I can see on the screen which sound is on each one by touching the top of the touch controllers. And then once I've layered my drums, if I then want to give it a really nice vintage sound, I go into vintage mode, and I've now got the classic sound of the 3000 or the classic sound of the MP60, which again people emulate.
Yeah.
But this unit has the same circuitry as the classic MPCs to give you that really fat, punchy sound on your drums. And then we have other which will emulate classic drum machines like SP1200, etc.
Sure.
And again, a lot of these dance guys that are doing drum and bass and stuff, they're after really dirty sounding drums.
Yeah.
And this is how you achieve it.
So I suppose it will appeal to the die-hard fans as well as newcomers. Yeah.
Mass market.
Andy, I've also noticed there's 4 MIDI outputs on the back. Where would they be utilised?
Okay, well, again, as you know, a hell of a lot of people are still using virtual instruments inside a computer. But one of the things we wanted to make sure is that this integrated with all your old technology, and there's so many people that use kind of motifs and Tritons, Junos, whatever. So, and these are a big part of people's studios. So what you can do is drive your MIDI outputs straight to your old hardware, and then that will all be sequenced inside the software. So you can see all the MIDI notes and everything.
One thing with the MPCs, as a lot of people know, is timing, and the MPC swing is quite famous. Does this one still retain that?
Yes, and what's great about it, it gives you all the different options. So when you hit time correction, you have the option of working from the screen or from the hardware, and it has all the same classic features. So we have all our different time corrections and divisions. You have the classic swing, which starts from 50% and works up to 75, and you can apply this per pad, per note, per groove. So it gives you, a hell of a lot of flexibility to create that classic sound. But yeah, it's fully integrated with all the, and when you blend that in with the vintage mode, you can get the classic sound with the swing.
Yeah. Andy, as this is integrated with a computer, what makes it sound? Is there like an internal sound card, or how does it work exactly?
Okay, well, when you're in a studio environment, this actually has its own I/O built in.
Okay.
So what we've done, again, we've modelled the classic circuitry of the predecessors, and then we've put audio, a 24-bit interface inside. So it technically is standalone with the software. So it will give you a really punchy sound out of the output. It's very hot. And giving it an I/O means you can sample directly into the Renaissance as well. So we can simply go shift, sample, record. I can hook up whatever devices I want, sample straight in, comes up on the screen, chop it up, send it to the pads. I don't have to then go through all my sound card in the studio and import everything back in. It's all self-contained.
Brilliant. Okay, Andy, when is it due to arrive, and what does it come with?
Okay, we're going to be shipping in the next few weeks, so back end of October, and it basically ships with obviously the hardware. You get the software all inside, so that you don't have to go for a direct download, but it also comes with an 8 GB content library, which gives you 3 virtual instruments, which are kind of, some of them are like dance, drum and bass, and then you get like an overall kind of sound module with strings, nice contemporary sound set, and a huge content of drums.
Brilliant.
All inside the box.
Well, thanks for coming in, Andy, to show us a new MPC. If you want some more info on the product, visit us at www.andertons.co.uk, or alternatively come into the store and try it out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any comments, write them in the box below and check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.
Bye bye.